Hey everybody, this is Fortune Kid along with Nick,
Hello.
and today we are back with a trial deck opening, and as you can see we have the Robotics Notes trial deck for Weiss Schwarz. Now this is only available, as you can see, in Japanese. There is no English version for Robotics Notes, but if you're interested in the anime, and it's a pretty good anime, I've watched a couple episodes, it's pretty good. They do have the trial deck, and there also is an entire set if you wanted to explore that. But one thing that you should do when you're looking for trial decks is look at online stores like eBay and Amazon, and a lot of times there'll be sellers that'll have these trial decks rather inexpensively. Like this one I picked up for $12 US on Amazon, which is a very good deal. So you know, it gives you a chance to try something different, try some of the sets that are in Japanese only at this time, try out some sets that are for animes that you really like. So we got the Robotics Notes here, one for today, so let's go ahead and open it up and see what we get. Like I said, I've only watched a couple of episodes. There's this girl who you can't see her face in this picture, but she's like the leader of the robotics club, and this guy is like a member of the club. I don't know how these two girls fit in there yet. I don't know how this person fits in there. That's the card that's on the front. And on this side, I think that's the guy that the girl is trying to convince to join the robotics club, but he doesn't want to join because he thinks the club's no good. So there's a lot of little interesting stories there, but let's open up the deck and see what we get. As usual, you got a piece of tape here and a piece of tape here. Easy enough, just pop those open, flip the top down. There is a piece of tape holding, right here. There it is. There's a piece of tape right there. Just need to zip that. Then this lifts up. And here are the cards. And of course in here, I'm not going to take it out, but there's a playbook, a quick start guide, and a paper playmat, like you usually get with the trial decks. So we'll put that off to the side. And then here are the cards. Of course, they have the usual band that you get on the Japanese cards rather than the 100% wrap like on the US trial decks, or the English trial decks, I should say. So we'll take the plastic piece off, and the cards are loose. On the back, you will have the points thing for the Japanese, and I did find out when you see this with the exclamation points, that means you did not win. What you're looking for is you're looking for a little gold bag in this section here, and that means you won. And again, I guess there's value in those for guys that travel back and forth to Japan. Maybe they buy these, and like I said, you can turn them in at Bushiroad stores in Japan, and you can get promo cards. I'm not exactly sure everything that you get, but that's the gist of that contest. So we'll put that off to the side. Then I'll put the cards down. I'm going to have Nick step in and hold the cards while I read the translations. So the first card that's on the front, which is the foil card, is a level 3, 2 cost, 10,000 power. It's called Childhood Friends, Akiho and Kaito. The traits are science and mecha, and the text on it is 2 abilities. The character opposite this card gets -1 soul, and the second ability is during your turn, if this card is in the front row, center slot, all of your other characters get plus 1,000 power. And of course there's one of those, and we expect to find another one later in the trial deck. Then the next card we have is a level 0, cost 3,000 power, no other abilities. It's called Airy, Hollow, Pretty Girl, and the traits are Science and Net. So it looks like Science so far has been on the first 2 cards. And how many of those do you get, Nick?
4 copies.
4 copies of that. The next card is Akiho, President of the Robotics Club, level 0, cost 2,500 power, and the ability is during your turn, this card gets plus 1,000 power. It is Science and Mecha.
4 copies.
Okay, the next card is Akiho, Charging Recklessly, Science and Mecha, level 1, 0 cost, 4,500 power. When this card attacks, if the dream of being chased constantly is in your climax zone, you may pay the cost, which is 1 stock. If so, this card gains 4,000 power and +1 soul for the turn. That's pretty nice, and it is a character encore card as well. And it's Science and Mecha. I don't know if I managed that, mentioned that.
4 copies.
4 copies of that. All right. The next card is Kaito Battle Gamer. Level 1, 1 cost, 7,000 power, no all abilities. Science and Game are the traits.
2.
2 copies of that one. Now we have Akiho During Maintenance. Level 2, 2 cost, 9,000 power. It swings for 2 soul, no other abilities. It is Science and Mecha.
2 copies.
2 copies of that. Now we have the yellow Bounce Climax. So it is the bounce trigger. When it triggers during your trigger step, you can bounce a character on your opponent's side. And if you play it as a climax, it's +1,000 and +1 soul. It is called Circle of Determination. And how many of those do you get, Nick?
2.
2 copies of that one. The next one is the Dream of Being Chased Constantly. So that is the climax combo with the level 1 card. It is a flare trigger, so if it triggers during your trigger step, your opponent will take their damage. If they cancel the damage, then they can take 1 additional damage. It gives all of your characters +1,000 power and +1 soul. And how many copies of that do you get, Nick?
2.
All right. Now we move on. We're out of the yellow. Now we're moving into the red. So this deck is obviously yellow and red. We have Juna, Timid Karate Girl, level 0, 0 cost, 1,000 power, Science and Sports. And the ability is all of your characters in front of this card get +500 power.
4 copies.
Okay. The next card that we have is Frau, HP 0. It is Science and Otaku are the abilities, are the traits. It is a level 0, 0 cost, 2,000 power, and the text is, when this card becomes reversed, if the level of the battle opponent is 0 or lower, you may reverse that character. So that's a typical level 0 red Suicider. How many of those do you get, Nick?
2.
2 copies of that one. Now we're up to Subaru Arrogant Stance. Level 0, 0 cost, 2,500 power. Science and Glasses are the traits. And the text is, activated ability, pay 1 stock, choose one of your science characters, and that character gets +1,500 power for the turn.
4 copies.
4 copies of that one. Okay, now we have Juna, Motion Actress. Level 1, 0 cost, 5,500 vanilla, no other abilities. It is Science and Sports.
2 copies.
2 copies of that. Now we have a level 1 counter card. You see the little yellow fist in the corner. Nick, go ahead and highlight that. That means you can play it on your opponent's turn. Level 1, 1 cost, 2,000 power if you play it as a character, but if you can also play it as a counter, and you do not have to pay any stock. You simply discard this card from your hand to the waiting room and choose one of your characters in battle, and it gets +2,000 power for the turn.
2 copies.
2 copies of that one. Now we have a red event. It's called Buy the 2 of Them in Closed Space. It is a level 1, 1 cost, and the ability is, choose one of your science characters in the waiting room and return it to your hand. Choose one of your characters, and that character gets +1,000 power for the turn, and put this card in your memory.
2 copies.
2 copies of that one. All right, and now we have the red Climax, Kind Big Sister of Children. It is a double soul if you trigger it on your trigger step. And if you play it as a climax, draw a card, choose one of your characters, and it gets +2,000 power and +1 soul for the turn.
4 copies.
4 copies of that one. Okay, now Nick is on to a level 1, 0 cost, 5,000 power. Frau, Girl Appearing in Tanigashima. Interesting. It's Science and Otaku. And when this card is placed from the hand to the stage, if you have 2 or more other science characters, this card gains +1 level and +1,500 power for the turn.
1 copy.
Just one of those. All right. Now we have Akiho, Eagerly Awaited Operations Test. Level 2, 1 cost, 8,000 power, Science and Mecha. It's just a 1 soul damage card. And it's when your other science characters attacks, this gets +1,000 power. So if you can use that, if you have a full front row and you can attack with your other 2 first, that can become a 10,000. That's pretty good.
Only 1 copy.
1 copy of that one. Okay, then the next card is Ari, Rumored Ghost. Level 2, 1 cost, 4,000 power, science, and net. The two abilities, continuous ability is this card cannot be chosen as the target of your opponent's effects, so it can't be bounced or anything like that. And the other ability is an assist. All of your characters in front of this card get plus 1,000 power.
2 copies.
2 copies of that. Then we have Juna, reliable one of the family, level 2, 1 cost, 8,500, swings for 1 soul, no other abilities. It is science and sports are the traits.
4, and then back to the first.
And then we're back to the second copy of the level 3 that was on the front. So Nick, if you could grab the 2 level 3s and hold them in front of the camera. Unfortunately, in this trial deck, we did not get a foil, well, we got the foil that's on the front, but we didn't get a bonus triple R or anything. And of course, we didn't get a signed card. But that is the Robotics Notes trial deck. I hope you've enjoyed the video, everyone. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.